And I'm going to mute everybody.
Good.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another general session on the Lavenia Success Mastermind. Today is the 30th of December, 2020. Woohoo! One more day and it's all gone. We turn a new page. Oh, well, I am talking to all of you and those on the web and anybody who catches this on a replay from my car. So excuse the unusual background, but I hope you can hear me loud and clear. I'm tethered to my phone, so I don't expect to drop. But yeah, so far so good. Well, today I'd like to talk to us about structure and simplicity for 2021. Just in case you're wondering, how this came about, you might want to catch the replay on the corporate curios session last night, and maybe that will give you a bit of a foundation to what we're going to be talking about today. But first, I wanted to say thank you to Adrian, who set us off, yesterday with a phenomenal session. So, guys, if you weren't on live, please catch the replay. I have given him a nickname as the JLSM seer of hidden potential, because he sees the best of us. He sees us as we can be and not as we are. And so I am hoping that all the words he spoke into every person's life yesterday fell on wonderful soil in your hearts and are already germinating today. And that some of those things he said, if not all of them, you would want to work on, for next year and the years to come. And so when I talk about structure and simplicity, I have chosen to focus on each person as an individual, and you'll understand where I'm going in a minute. But if we have clarity, if we make our goals really simple and clear, where we know what it is we want to achieve in 2021, we give ourselves a fighting chance to actually achieve those things. So I'm going to throw out a few questions, and I'm going to say to let your real self, your true self, ponder these questions. Give yourself time. If after the call you need to set extra time aside to think through these questions, I believe deep down inside each and every one of us, we will find the answers we're looking for, if we give ourselves the time and the permission to actually answer the questions honestly. We know what it is we want. The answers are there. We just need to find them. And from those answers will come the structure. And from the structure will come the simplicity for 2021. So I want to look back on 2020, so maybe what we want to do, if you create two columns and think about yourself a year ago. So say December 2019, right? And then the other column is December 2020, which is where we are now. And what I want you to picture, go back in time to 2019 and picture who you were as a person. What would you say your strongest top 3 traits were, right? So if someone was going to describe you, if your best mate was going to describe you, what would they say were your 3 positive attributes that they didn't even have to think about it? It would just come to them like that. Do those 3 things resonate with you? If they do, if they affirm who you believe yourself to be as at December 2019, answer that question and write those top 3 things down, right? And then fast forward to December 2020, and once again, ask yourself that question. If someone was going to describe me now, a year later, what top 3 words will come out without hesitation as to who I am? Having gone through 2020, if you've improved in some areas, if this is a new version, better version of you, if those words have changed, and see where the change has come in from those 3 words a year ago to the 3 words today. So that's question 1, right? Who you were in 2019, exactly a year ago, and who you will be described as today, December 2020, right? Second question, what aspects of the version of you in 2020 do you want to take forward into 2021? So now you know what 3 words your bestest mate will use to describe you. You know what a journey 2020 has been for you. The question is, what good parts of who you think you are today, 30th December 2020, do you want to take forward into 2021? Be honest, right? For some of us, it might be that we're a bit more patient. For some of us, it might be that we are more open-minded. For some of us, it might be that we're more resilient. Whatever it is, what are those good parts of the version of you that showed up in 2020 do you want to take into 2021? And how are you going to make that happen? So that's a part B question. So 1, you identify the version of you want to take going forward, right? 2, you want to talk about how you're going to take that part of you forward. What things would you have to put in place? What goals, what parameters, what boundaries, right, would you have to put in place to make sure that that version of you that you now love, that you like, that aspect of you that has been created or developed or improved in 2020 that you want to see show up in 2021, what are you going to do to make that happen? What are the steps you're going to take to make that happen? Right. Flip side of that, let's go back to 2019. What 3 words would your best mate say were your weak points? So what would they say? She could do better at this. He could be a tad better at that. Maybe if he did this a little bit more, then he'd be A star, right? So we've thought about the 3 best things that they describe you. What are the 3 weaknesses? I don't want to say worst things. They're just weaknesses, right? We're not going to focus too long on that because we're not people, judged or limited, by limitations. We want to get past that. And then fast forward to December 2020. First question, do those 3 weaknesses still apply? Or have you overcome 1 or 2 or all 3 of those weaknesses? If the answer is no, there's still 1 outstanding or 2 or half or 1.5, however way you want to measure yourself, right? Evaluate yourself. What are you going to do to make sure that version, those weaknesses, don't show up again in 2021? Because John always goes on about, it's not the journey, it's the person who's making the journey. And he said again and again and again that, as we get to our goals, so if for instance, your goal is a financial one, having more resources is only going to make you more of who you already are today, right? It's just going to be more of the version of you that you are today, unless we make conscious, intentional changes to be a better version of who we are today. So somebody with, £1 million is still the same person the way they were yesterday, but they're just today the same person with £1 million, unless they've done some kind of, self-development or personal development along the way to improve the version of themselves, right? So these are questions that are going to make us, I think, this time next year when we take stock, to say, yes, I am once again a better version of myself, right? So just think about the words structure and simplicity. What we want to know and determine is who's showing up. What part of that person showing up do I want to take forward? What part of that person showing up don't I want to take forward? And what am I going to do to make sure the parts I want to show up do show up, and the versions or the aspects or the parts of me that I don't want showing up don't show up, right? What are we going to do? So we've got to set objectives in place. I mean, it's one thing, we talk about our business goals, we talk about our career goals, our financial goals, our relationship goals, but now I want us to think about the person actually going through this journey, so that when we come to December 2021, there are no surprises, right? Because you were expecting the better version, the improved version of yourself to show up. And that's what we end up seeing, right? We want to give ourselves a fighting chance to have and arrive at that better version of ourselves. So those are the few questions that I want us to think about. Now, you might not be able to answer all of them in depth here and now, but let that simmer in the back of your mind. Give yourself permission. Be honest, right? Look in the mirror. Do a self-evaluation. Measure yourself, score yourself if you have to on a scale of 1 to 10, right? on attributes that you'd like to see, right, in yourself. And then put those plans, those specific goals, those specific steps you're going to take to make that happen. So once again, we make it really clear. So there's no ambiguity. We go into 2021 knowing what it is we want to show up as come December 2021. And so something else that was coming up for me is you'll find that these answers are there. You don't have to look very far. Because the unspoken things, we kind of like know what we think about ourselves. We know what we're like. We know what areas we want to work on. It shouldn't be too hard an exercise to do, right? And so that's why I started by saying, if you weren't on the call yesterday, catch the replay. Because some seeds were sown yesterday. Words were spoken that should inspire you, should have sparked something. There should be a bud, just something growing, something sprouting, right? That if you just take that to heart, think about it, put goals in place, I promise you, that version of you will show up. And if that version of you is already present and already realized, increase that, right? Let the version of you who is today be a greater version that shows up in December 2021, right? So that's what was coming up for me as I spoke about today. And I'm going to give an example, just, because maybe I haven't been too clear. If, for instance, I want to be more giving, right, next year. So December 2021, I want to do more giving. Yes, I've been described as, I give now. This is December 2020, but I want to, raise that up a notch. I want to take that up a notch, right? What am I going to do to get there? So that come December 2021, I'm not like umming and ahhing and wondering, did I achieve it? Didn't I achieve it? I can say to myself, I'm going to volunteer X number of days in 2021. So if I didn't do that this year, I can set a number of days that I'm going to give my time to some kind of charity or the other. If I did volunteer in 2020, I might want to increase that number of days by 1. That's still an increase, right? So I'm not thinking leaps and bounds. I mean, like John always says, every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. So let's think of 2021 as that every year, I'm getting better and better, right? So if you only increase the number of volunteering days by 1, that's better than 2020's stats, right? So that's probably one goal that I can set myself. The other goal I can set myself is, okay, if I work for an organization where I get 5 days to actually give back to my local community, and this year I only use 3 of those 5 days, I can say, for instance, in 2021, how about upping that to 4 days or doing all 5? That's another simple, measurable goal. So that come this time in 2021, I can look back and say, 2020, I did 3 days through my organization. This year, I upped it to 5. Woohoo, result, right? So that's kind of, what I'm thinking about. So evaluate yourself today, compare it with the version for 2019. If there was an improvement, fantastic, which I believe there was. Otherwise, we won't all be on this platform. I mean, I think all the months we spent together, I think we are definitely, I know we are better versions of ourselves today than we were a year ago. But we want to up that. We want 2021 to be even bigger than 2020, right? So that's one example that was coming up for me. Because what we don't want is to arrive at December 2021 with any kind of regrets, to say I didn't give myself a chance to actually be a better version of myself. Or the words Adrian spoke on the 29th of December 2020, it kind of like went in one way, came out the other, and I did nothing with it, right? Or I wasn't there live, I didn't catch the replay, so I don't even know what everyone's going on about. No, let's not be, no regrets come December 2021. We all want to say, the seer, the JLSM seer saw something and he spoke those words into existence. We took them to heart, we ran with them, and here we are showing up with intent, better versions of ourselves, right? So that's what was coming up for me today. So, I mean, I hope this resonates with you guys. I would love to hear your thoughts. Is this something, we want to do? Is this something you would love to do? Is this something that you think is a bunch of woo-woo you're not keen on? Yeah, let's hear it. Who wants to go first? I see no hands, so. Mark, yay, bro, you're up. Go for it.
Hey, the one. Still waiting for that car to, breathe. Okay, so I'm taking to heart what you're saying, Ivié, and I just did a little bit of jotting down. Admittedly, I have to do some more thought, but just kind of on the surface, there were a couple things that I looked at 2019 and 2020, just in this last year, a couple descriptors for myself that I see that are that remain somewhat the same, and that is I tend to be an impassioned person, and a person who enjoys research and knowledge. I like to kind of know what I'm talking about. Not always. I'm not perfect. I make my faux pas, but I'm looking at it as an improving environment. I think the big change for me, though, across the board has been, if you'd looked at me in 2019 as a relatively impatient person, and I think what this environment, the transformation that I've gone through that I mentioned earlier this week too, is the level of patience, understanding, and willingness to just take a breath, step back for a second, work through the series, the savers. Just there's a whole number of things that have occurred as a result of this environment that have compelled me to make some adjustments. Where do I need improvements? Certainly, and I'm working with Coach Macelis. My weight, my fitness level, I want to improve upon that. In some ways I tend to procrastinate, and which is not necessarily a good trait for an old retired jarhead like myself, but I'm improving upon that as well. And from the standpoint of being impatient, I think I'm kind of borderline between tolerant and being a more patient person. And I was much more introverted and now becoming much more extroverted. And I just need to keep that direction, that positive direction going, becoming more accepting, more involved, more open, and continue to look at where I want to be a year from now, and just a better person overall in that regard. In this environment, this venue has really, I don't know where else I can look in my life that tells me that there was anything else that was the impetus or the driving force that compelled me to this place at the end of 2020 than this venue, than the JLSM family, John Lavenia, this whole environment, the coaching that I've received here, the friendships, all of it. It's, I don't see it as a coincidence. It has to be, if I'm speaking really from just a purely objective point of view, I think these are the facts would bear this out. That in Adrian's world of being an attorney, working with evidence, the evidence to me shows that I'm at where I'm at today because of this environment. And it's not a finished product. I agree with John. I'm always, it's every day in every way, right? Looking to improve upon where I'm at from the day before. And do I slide? Of course I slide. But it doesn't mean I fall back and go, woe is me. No, I'm not playing the victim card. I will not do that. I'm moving forward, and I'll continue to become even a more giving person, as you say, Ivié, and be more involved and be of higher quality purpose and being. And that's where I'm going with this. And I will not be denied.
Yay. I think we second that, Mark. We all agree. And you're not, what was it you described yourself? Old jarhead? Nah, take that back now. And I would never have believed you were an introvert. Oh my goodness gracious. So yeah, the things we don't know. or the way we see ourselves compared to how other people see us. Alison, you're up.
Hi,
Hiya.
Ivié. Thank you. This has been really fascinating. Just off the top of the head, jotting things down, like Mark said, as to what my friends might have thought of me last year to compared with this year. And the three things, but two that really stood out just suddenly was bravery. And I think we've all just been so unbelievably brave in this journey, taking on Amazon and getting as far as we've got. I think is just, it's such a whole new world. And I think we've all been fantastic doing that. And belief in myself, which has been a massive change for me. And this group is just, whenever I've been doing gratitude meditations every day, and looking back over this year and who I'm grateful for, and really this group is just insane. It's the only thing I've had in terms of when I look at my work life, because of lockdown, because of everything else, and I haven't been able to see friends and things like that. And really, my friends aren't really involved in my work life or my, or development in that area. And so this has just been so amazing. So huge gratitude to everyone in this group and all the people that do all the talks and everyone that contributes, because it is just absolutely changed my life on another trajectory. And I know that trajectory next year is just going to be shooting upwards. I just know it. And I just thank you so much, everyone.
I can't see Ivié anywhere.
Oh dear, has she gone? Oh no.
I think we lost her in the car there.
Yeah, there was a message that came up that the host is now Sandy Lewis.
Oh, well done, Sandy. Well, should we give it a couple of minutes and then carry on talking, I guess? Coral was going to come out there. Just see if she can dial back in. She tethered her mobile in the car, so maybe it's just dropped out.
Okay. Well, you know what? I only put my hand up because Mark said he was an introvert, and I nearly choked on that. I really did.
Coral, it's not so funny. I'm an introvert too, and you might not believe it, but I actually am. And I think you can train yourself to be what one of our members described the other day as an extroverted introvert, where you just have to do it, and you have to learn to get out there. And I was forced to go out and stand in courtrooms, stick the wig on, and address judges and just take it on. And you sort of learn to put yourself out there. That doesn't mean that you're naturally extroverted and want to be out there in front of everybody. I think Mark's the sort of guy that's always there in the background, always working away. And I can understand that, Mark. Yeah.
But what I don't understand about you, Adrian, is that you said you're an introvert and yet you chose a profession where you have to get out silly costume on with a wig and everything and stand in front of lots of people. You chose that.
Yeah, you know what? That's diving off the diving board, Carol. You got to dive in and say, I'm going to do this and never look back. And that's why everyone's got to do the same thing right here. And
we're back in business, everybody.
Oh, you're back in business.
Oh,
fantastic.
Yeah. So Adrian and Alison and Coral's got their hands up, and you guys are all talking except Alison. Let's get Alison out here too.
Ali's spoken already.
Oh, okay.
Coral was just wanting to speak. So Coral was just speaking. I stuck my hand up because Ego's having technical problems, and I've put my hand up for Ego.
It was Ivié, and she's back as well.
She's back.
So yeah, so we should be all good. I think Ivié's back. No? Well, there's that. So who else? By the way, this is Structure and Simplicity. Amazing stuff. Because I know when I, you know what, I'll share. Hi, I'm John. I'll share. I can complicate the crap out of stuff. Oh my goodness, I'm so good at that. There's so many nuances and intricacies, so much stuff to know that I don't know. In fact, I know that I don't know. So therefore, let me not do right? Let me not do, because I just don't know enough. I need more, stuff, so I can like really do this and make sure I don't make any mistakes. Is that the internal dialogue of anyone else here, or just me? Is it just me? Oh, no, it's not just me. Right. So holy crap. Imperfect and done. Imperfect and done. That's it. That's my motto for 2021. And I dare to ask you to hold me to account for that, because it's so not comfortable for me. I know it's easy to say, right? You've heard me say it before. Imperfect and done beats perfect and not done. Yeah, that's catchy, man. That's snappy. Look at me. I know stuff, man. I can regurgitate like platitudes. Can I do it? Can I do it? Great question. and when I do it, here's the thing. Oh, Ivié's back. And when I do it, it feels good. Oh, look at this high integrity action I just did. I just turned out a crappy video, but I turned it out. Out it goes, out the door. Crappy by whose standards? By the public standards? No, man. Every word that falls out of your mouth is like a breakthrough. Look at people like Ivié and Adrian and Julia, right? You guys got knowledge, stuff, right? You say something that you might feel is, that was mediocre or whatever. That's how I feel about my own work a lot of times. It's all right. I could have done better. You know what? Compared to what most people do, it's a friggin' breakthrough, man. It's like, the sky opened up and, the angels sang or something. So let's put it in perspective. Imperfect and done. Ivié's back.
Yes, I am. I'm so sorry, everyone. I don't know what happened there.
I don't know either, but I grabbed the controls. I logged in as the host, so I got it. Oh, you're good to go. Right.
Thank you, John. Alison, I think I kind of like cut out and threw everybody out when you were talking. So I'm not quite sure if you finished what you were saying, Ali.
Yeah, no, I finished.
Okay.
Finished on gratitude for everybody.
Oh,
for
fantastic.
everybody and everything that they've
Thank
done.
you so much. I'm grateful for you too. Thank you. Adrian, you've got your hand up. Adrian G. The seer.
That's because Ego's going to speak. She's having technical trouble, so I put my hand up for Ego.
Oh, all right. Fantastic.
Oh, it was Ego. I thought you were referring to Ivié's lost signal. Okay, great. We got Ego.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks, Adrian. For some reason, my version of Zoom now, I can't raise my hand. So
oh, wow.
Yeah, thanks, Adrian, for doing that. It sounds like I missed a really good session yesterday, so I should go back to listen to the replay. Ivié, that was so profound, thinking about structure and simplicity. And that's actually how I would describe myself. That's how I describe myself. I love simplicity. In fact, when I was thinking about the Amazon journey, my brand name had simplicity in it. The tagline had simplicity. I love structure because that's, John was talking about routine on Monday. That's really how I operate. That's how I can get things done. So, talking about how people would describe me or how they would have described me in December 2019 over this time, I would say still the same, but what I would do differently, I would say basically probably a better version of myself, right? Because I've been exposed to a lot more by being involved with lots of, this group and engaging with lots of amazing people. I've learned so much. I believe that if I stop learning, then I die, right? So I've learned so much from everyone in this group. So what I would do differently is, like we've all heard, the consistency, the persistence, the intentionality, having clarity of purpose. There's nothing like having clarity, because once you have that clarity, that you can achieve anything. So I'm grateful for the fact that I'm able to find ways of being a better version of myself through my interactions with everyone. And then in terms of weaknesses that I'd really like to work on, two things stand out for me. One of them is I tend to repress my feelings to make way for others. So I, if there's something going on, it doesn't matter as long as I'm, there for somebody else. And then overloading myself, which I'm actually working on as well, because there's nothing that, burning out is not fun. And, being able to prioritize, having that routine, I should, really be able to nail that. And then on the point of being an introvert, I'm actually an introvert as well. I took the 16 personalities test. I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert. So let's just say maybe I'm an extroverted introvert, maybe like somebody else. But no, I and then just to kind of end off, I really, it's just such a delight being a part of this group. I was speaking to a friend of mine this morning who needs some encouraging. She's actually going to join. I sent her the link, and she said to me, how comes you always have an answer? You always have an insightful answer. You always have encouraging words. And I said, it's, show me your friends and I tell you who, and I can tell who you are. You guys are all my friends. You are the ones I hang out with. So, I'm being influenced by my speech, my words, my actions, my deeds is kind of influenced by everyone here. So I really thank you guys for, all that you are, being yourselves and all that you are to me. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Ego. I can't believe there's so many introverts coming out of the woodwork on this platform. How come we're all talking? I thought introverts never spoke. So yeah, I'm not sure I believe those tests. I mean, I know those personality things, but I'm sorry. We can't all be introverts. But thanks, Ego. That was really good. Thank you so much. We appreciate you too for all you do. You keep showing up with strength of character and you always have great insights to share with us. So yeah, you are definitely valued in this family. Thank you so much. Cyril, you're next.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, Cyril.
Hello. Actually, this is an interesting topic. It's one of the things I've tended to do to myself, not necessarily straight this topic, but I have done over the years to try and improve. So variations of this type of idea. There are a number of books on it that are really quite interesting. Was it do you remember the one called Parachute? Ivié? There's one called something Parachute. That's quite an interesting book on a very similar idea. I can't remember the full name of. So yes, which I'm definitely going to need to do.
You're not on Zoom anymore.
Yes, ma'am.
Cyril, is it what's the color of my parachute?
I think that's the one. Yes,
Yeah.
Gail. Yes, yeah, that's it. It's a really interesting book. I must admit, I call myself an overcompensated introvert because exactly like Adrian, although for me it was a necessity in that basically as a child, I wouldn't say a word. And now some people would probably prefer that, but I got into dance because from an early age I went out dancing and realized that I loved to dance. And from that, when eventually I realized that maybe I could get some work out of it, and I realized, but also because of the fact that introversion has a number of things, really quite negative things it can do to the mind. And I realized at quite an early age how much I had held myself back through a lot of my inner dialogue and actions as a consequence of my thinking. So I mean, from the age of I don't know, actually it was quite early on. I did some stage stuff. At 16, I purposely put myself into acting classes at a place called Toynbee Hall in East London, which was really a cool place to go. And it's been a journey since before then. So And the reason you don't hear me talk all the time is because I allow myself to be myself. But for work, teaching, it was about turning on my extroverted self, because I could, one of the aspects I really learned from teaching was that by being an introvert as a teacher, you're not doing your students any justice. Also, the negative aspects of thinking in terms of being hard on myself, particularly which came out as a dancer, I knew that wasn't good for me as a dancer eventually when I came out and I started to work on. And it became even more evident when I started teaching that I couldn't allow myself to think in the same ways that I did as teaching myself in the way of teaching others, because it wasn't positive enough, it wasn't encouraging enough. And even in my relationships, I realized that was introversion is not the way to go with relationships, and that, or some of that thinking is so negative in that it, for example, one of the things I remember I used to feel was that early on when I was young, that my girlfriend was a part of me. Not true. She's not. She has a completely different way of thinking. And because I had that way of thinking, I could, at that time, I treated her like I treated myself, which wasn't good. So being an introvert has taught, or rather coming out of, or teaching myself not to be an introvert, has been very useful in many ways, not only to myself, but to others. And I think, and I commend you, Adrian, for it's not an easy process, because you have to confront yourself and confront your thinking to get past the ideas that some of those ideas are invalid. Just because you think something doesn't make it true. So yes, great topic. And even the idea of the introversion is an interesting one. And to be honest, I am not surprised that we have so many, from my point of view, overcomplicated or extrovert introverts on this, because these people, the people here who we see every day, are the ones who are more likely to have recognized that self needs to be changed to develop and move forward. Thank you.
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Cyril. Yeah, and I have heard of the book, What Color Is Your Parachute? Yeah, I must say, it's a good one to have as something in your library anyway, and just refer to it again and again and again. So that's great. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I think Carlene, you're next.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'm just taking a minute to come on because my video was off. I'm trying to multitask as usual. I have my toddler tearing up the place. But I had to say something today because I didn't get a chance to speak yesterday. Thanks to Adrian, it would have been impossible to get any words out. I would have just lost it. So I'm like, today I'm a bit more calmer. I'm not going to break down. I'm going to be able to say what I have to say really quickly and then rush back because I'm listening with my headphones on. But I wanted to say thank you, Ivié, just for this year in review, look back at 2019, where we were and where we are in 2020. So I'm going to share something that I haven't really shared with this group before, but I lost my big sister last year to breast cancer. And that happened in 2019. So I was stuck in this loop where I was really angry.
Breathe. You're okay. You're okay. Okay,
I'm good. So I was stuck in this loop and it was really difficult. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get it on. But anyway, so that happened and here comes 2020. And before you know it, we're stuck in a pandemic. So that was not helpful at all. And I got on I remember getting onto Blue Sky and the first time I joined John Lavenia's call, it was honestly, I can't even put it into words. I cannot put it into words. I'm going to try to put it into words, but it's not even going to do it any justice. So I'm on John Lavenia's call, and John's speaking to us, right? And long story short, he is like, I don't even know how to describe it. John was heaven sent. That's the only way I can put it. And I am not a religious person. As a matter of fact, I absolutely loathe religion. For the people who know me know, I loathe it. And this is what made John even more amazing, because John was able to do what pastors have tried for years to do for me. John was able to transcend religion, race, culture, gender, sexuality. John was able to transcend everything that made people different, that made us become the people we are today. He was able to go above and beyond that. So I didn't even see John Lavenia as who he is, like a human being. John became more than that. I don't even think John knows who he is. He probably doesn't even know. He's probably not even real. I don't even think he's real. He's probably artificial intelligence, because for him, let me tell you something. For John Lavenia to get me, and the people who know me, to get me to be able to feel alive. I can't put it into words. Wow. I was stuck in this spiral of a nightmare. And I remember on that call with Blue Sky, someone emailed in the chat and they were like, I can't find my, there was this, can't remember the name of it, but we were supposed to be doing this, filling out these things. And someone was like, I can't find my email. And John said, okay, we have someone lost in space. We'll send a shuttle. And I think he doesn't even understand, because that is the perfect way to describe how many of us feel, lost in space. And John was sending out shuttles, and a shuttle picked me up. And when John picked me up, and it wasn't even me actually, it was someone else in the chat saying, I can't have it. And there's this person called Nina that John used to say, Nina, could you send a shuttle, send something? It was just funny, but it was so realistic, because that was the perfect way to describe how that was how I felt. And he sent these shuttles out. It was just fun. It's just banter, but it makes sense. And I think it's the best way to describe sometimes how we as human beings exist in this planet, in this realm. And we sometimes need someone to send a shuttle. And here comes the shuttle, which is John Lavenia. And it just was, I was reborn. Let me tell you, I feel so sorry for Sophie. No offense to Blue Sky, but I was sold. It was John Lavenia from that day onwards. I was like one of those lemmings. I was like, wherever John goes, I'm following, because I need to know what this guy has, because whatever it is he has, I need to find it too. I need it. Then he comes with integrity is everything. I'm like, okay, hit after hit after hit. Then he comes with every day and everywhere, I'm getting better and better. And I'm like, listen, beam me up, Scotty, because I have never felt this in my life. And as I mentioned, it's nothing to do, John doesn't preach to us. John's not trying to get me to give my life to anyone. John's just getting me to be the best version of myself. And this is what life is about. Life is about us being the best versions of ourselves, and everything else falls into place. When you become that person, let me tell you something. I don't even care if you're Democrat, Republican, Tory, Conservative, Labor. All these things mean absolutely nothing, because what it boils down to is, who are you as a human being? I don't care what no one says. I love every single person in this group, because now I see you for more than who you probably even see yourself as. I see you guys for just the beams and rays that shooting out of Ego and Ivié and Cyril and Mark.
Wow, courageous Carlene. Yikes.
Thank you guys so much. I just love you guys so much.
Oh, we love you so much too. I mean, my goodness, such power, such passion. I mean, you are a person to be reckoned with, man. Sure.
No,
I
it's
mean,
because of
I
John.
promise.
It's because of
thought,
John.
you know, we've all said this, John. We've called you, a lifeline. We've called you the magnet.
He is.
You just keep getting new names. Now you're the shuttle. It's
He is.
amazing. It
He's not
really is
human.
amazing.
He is not
Yeah.
human. He's not. My mom doesn't even recognize me anymore. My mom, because my mom is like super conservative, super religious, and I'm saying stuff with my mom, and she's like, "Oh my God," and I'm like, because now everything makes sense, and I think that's what it is with us human beings. I think if we understand who we are and what we're supposed to do in this world, it's more than just these little boxes that we need to tick. It's more than that. It's just it's something that until you feel it and you understand it, people who talk about those things, you look at them like, ew, what are you talking about? You have to understand it. And as I said, it transcends everything. It transcends every single thing. It has nothing to do with race or culture or religion or gender. It has nothing to do with those things. We are bursts of energy inside people. We're just bodies that have these souls, and these souls are what make us who we are today. So that's me trying to keep it together and have this conversation. But thank you guys, you're amazing. I can't wait for 2021. It's gonna be better. It's gonna be amazing. Thank you. Mwah.
Thank you so much, darling. Oh my God. Guys, we need to give it up for Carlene. That was just amazing. That was absolutely amazing. Oh my goodness. I mean, she summed it up, Julia. I don't know how you want to follow that. Know that Carlene's a powerhouse. I don't know what you want to say after that, but hey,
I want to say that Carlene could sell me anything at any time. She could be, I know she's not into religion, but she could be that pastor or preacher or something. Carlene, you're awesome. You're amazing. And thank you so much for sharing from your heart. I know I'm all choked up about it, and I'm sure everybody else is here too. It's so beautiful, and we're all very sorry for your loss, but look at you, girl. You go. And all I wanted to do is throw in that I am an introverted extrovert. So let's flip that around. Everybody I know would say I'm an extrovert, but there's a part of me that's an introvert too. And I think there's some of you in this crowd that feel the same. So bless you all. Have a wonderful 2021. Can't wait.
Yay!
We're not there yet.
Thank you
but
so much, Julia. Thank you. Oh my goodness, I love that. Introverted extrovert. We're everything. We're a right mix in this group. Ingrid, I think you had your hand up as well. So the floor is yours. Thanks, Julia. Ingrid, can you hear us?
Am I there now?
Yeah, yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Good, I forgot to unmute me. So I kind of forgot most of what I wanted to say because I was listening to Carlene so much. It was so amazing. But that really blew me away. Let me think. What did I want? Oh yeah, my son just reminded me. If I look back in a year from now, I would say probably I'm kind of the same, but I've gotten so much of my old focus back, and that's really thanks to this group. And for me, things work best when there's no plan B. And I had forgotten that version of me over the last couple of decades, I guess. And I've really found that back, like, thanks to this group, thanks to just everybody. I don't even know why it is this group, but I've got my mojo back. Wow. And thank you. Wow. I want to thank everyone for that. Yeah, I mean, and I'm actually an introvert too. I just wanted to, because most people go, really? But it's like Cyril says, you know, when you're in the performing arts, you learn how to put on that other suit and you wear it really well, because otherwise you wouldn't be successful at it. So is that an extroverted introvert, or is that a like split personality? I don't know, whatever. That's how I would describe myself. But mostly, I just want to say thank you to everyone. I sometimes don't get to come on as much as I would want because we've had orchestra again, and it's been a lot. And before I was on way more, but I think of us all the time, and I listen to the recorded sessions as much as I can. And I just love us all. Thank you so much. That's it.
Thank you so much, Ingrid. We love you too. We love you too. Thank you so much for sharing with us. You know, it's just amazing how far we've come as a family and as a group, and as you know, it's just, John, what you've created here. My goodness, if it could be bottled, and I think sold the world over, wow, yeah, this has been amazing. I don't see any other hands up. So unless somebody has an absolute burning desire, did I miss anybody? I can't see any other hands, you know, so yeah, that's it really. So, you know, Julia's had to go, Ingrid's spoken. So I don't know if anybody else wants to come out and say something. Otherwise, it looks like it's an early one for us. But I just want to thank John. Do you want to say a few words, John?
Yeah, it's you know, the last couple of weeks, not just in the last couple of minutes with the things that have been shared, but it seems to be a recurring theme that keeps hitting me over the last couple of weeks is how profound and meaningful and relevant this work, this group, right, this conversation is. And on one side, I look at, you know, the quality of it and like the impact that it has. I know in my life and in the lives of many, as Carlene, every time Carlene speaks now, it's like, you know, a bomb goes off. It's like, wow, you know, there's that. Like, what are you going to say now, right? So thank you, Carlene. So to maintain, you know, the purity of purpose and intent and delivery, and at the same time to do what is also the intent of this group is to bring the conversation of success to an ever expanding audience. So quantity as well. And so that's a consideration that I have. And right there is revealing, because now what am I doing? I'm sitting here with my considerations. I'm not doing stuff. I'm not acting. I'm not reaching. I'm not promoting. I'm not right. So should I, shouldn't I, right? We will maintain. I will tell everyone right here. You've got my promise that we will maintain the spirit of this group, just like Napoleon Hill talked about in Think and Grow Rich. What is the whole purpose of this mastermind? And if we look at his QQS formula, quality, quantity, and spirit. Well, I think we got the spirit part locked down. Quality, I think we're good. Quantity, balancing those three, right? So that's where my brain's going right now, because it really touches me when I hear things like what I've been hearing in the last 15 minutes with Carlene and for the last few weeks leading up to this triumphant conclusion of this
I don't want
interesting year. Very interesting. Yeah. So Coral, you got a comment on that? Coral?
Sorry, John, am I not muted?
You were.
No, you're not.
I'm so sorry.
No worries. No worries. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. You're amongst friends. It's just us girls talking here today. It's no big deal. I love you guys. Thank you, Ivié, for hosting. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. We are going to have Books for Britain today. Yes. And we're talking about, or Mandy and whoever shows up on Books for Britain, because I've got a meeting at that time, we'll be talking about Habit 1 from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Habit 1, of course, being proactivity. Be proactive, right? So that is coming up in 1 hour and 6 minutes. And then we also have, is that it for today? That's it. Oh, Glenn's off. Yeah, Glenn's off for today. Yeah. Okay. So do the Books for Britain thing and enjoy your holiday, or, you know, do something productive, or, you know, read another chapter, do something. So we'll see you guys. Yeah. We'll see you guys tomorrow then. Of course,
yes. Yeah. Thank you so much, John. Thank you everyone for joining me today. And we will see you either on Books for Britain or tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, Ivié.
You're welcome.